I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA's Daily Review. Today is Friday, November 17th, 2023. So we had this weird fucking day, pretty much. They decided to come down and take some liquidity out. Well, they first took the previous day's high, which was yesterday. All right, let me zoom in a little bit on this 4 hour. And you'll see here, hopefully looks better. You'll see that we opened up and then we popped up first, wiped them out, and we got into that wick I mentioned yesterday. You got to watch yesterday's video so this makes sense. We came down, which was great. We took out a piece of liquidity that was key for me, but we did not break through it, and then we shot back up to wipe out today's high that we made early in the day. So, really suspect. I knew it was going to be suspect from yesterday. The way this was just kind of forming. So this is going to be pretty ugly. They're just not ready to just drop it yet. But let's take a look on smaller time frames so it makes sense. So here's the deal. So yesterday, I mentioned that we got into a 15-minute wick right here. This up candle right here. Okay. So that being said, we ended up opening up and then shot up first here, London time. And then we got into this wick right here. And I mentioned here, let me show you this here. So I was very clear yesterday about possibly this being a leg and then that being the leg and this leg going into this. Remember, I position 1, position 2, position 3, getting into that wick right there. You see how I got it right there? And then for us to break down and make a new lower low, right? We want to like try to go get bearish, right? So I also made an option that the price would come up here into the middle of this candle. So go watch yesterday's video so this makes sense. If you are and caught up, great. You know I mentioned that we would come possibly into this middle candle and then maybe come down or possibly just keep going up, right? So here's the deal. With this scenario, it played out and it did not play out. So here's how it played out. So as you see, on the 1 hour chart, what we did is we came up, we got into that wick, and I got it now highlighted with this 50 fib right here. Look how we come right to it. Now okay, so here's the deal. Today, on Fridays, I generally would like to be in early, only because moves can happen at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I want to be done early. I'm not fucking with these people later than 10:30, 11 o'clock for sure on Fridays. Well, that's what I would prefer. But look what happened. So, and I have this already outlined. I didn't do it yesterday, but because I give brief overviews in the day. But I had this alert here, and this thing let me at 8:20. I'm starting to get ready for the day, but I heard this alert. And shit you not, can't make this up. This shit came down, came up, right there. Well, on a smaller time frame, it looks much better. But right here, we break down with that candle. I gotta go to 1 minute, so I just can't show you what I'm talking about in a 5 minute. But we hit this 50 level of that fib, right? So perfect, good. All right, so that's what I want to see. We get a break right here of this low. And we retrace back up into this candle. Perfect. I'm like, okay, this is great. Sell. It's a great opportunity. Let me get in. And what's my goal here? Well, I've already got this. You can't see it on a 1 minute. I'm going to zoom out, I guess. But you don't have to. You can see it here on the 15 minute. I've got this low and liquidity outlined right there. All this liquidity. What we obviously want to break down here, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But this right here, yesterday's low, which is literally at, you can see that, right? At 148 or whatever. I've got that highlighted. The price starts selling off. Perfect. We take out that low. Cool. I'm looking for a more bigger range today because I understand the scenario of where we are, right? And it hits a perfect level. This is not like random, right? So the price shoots down right here. Now we get 930. We're here. I'm already going to keep in I'm already staying in this trade only because of the fact that I know I want to break a low, a major low from yesterday, which is that low right there. And of course, I would love for it to just keep sinking. I would love for it to have just came all the way down, broke that low, and then get into here. That would have been awesome, but they didn't give it to us like some little bitches. And they do this. They're doing this on purpose. I mean, it's obvious that they're doing this on purpose. But anyways, price shoots down here at 930, pops up, fake move, gets into a there's a 15-minute imbalance right here. See this? All right, this 15-minute imbalance. And this is the 930 candle on the 15-minute. It pushes it up, right? It pushes it up, and then that's right here where I'm showing you, right here. Pushes it up and hits this up candle. Barely. You're missing it by a smidget, but shoots down and takes out that liquidity, literally on the head, like exactly. So with that, and I see that it's exactly, I'm done. I take this profit out, I'm good, and I take a buy here, right? I actually take a loss, trying to catch this stupid thing, but a little impatient. But price shoots up. Where I'm going with this trade is I got this 15-minute imbalance highlighted, right? And it's actually a 5-minute, by the way. It's not really a 15, it's a 5-minute. But I highlighted, well, let me go to a 5-minute so you can see it. Hopefully this video is short, man. Got that 5-minute imbalance right there. See that? All right, so 5-minute imbalance. I take this high with this low, about 50% of that range that we drop down. Look how it comes to the literal head of this. All right, so right here is a target right here to get above that liquidity from the 930, because that's where 930 pushed up and everybody sold, right? I'm already in early. The benefit of having an early position on a day like this, generally on a Friday, is that, right? Is that you're in early, and your bias is obviously still the same, but price comes up and gets right into that imbalance, literally to the head. So that's also specific precision as well. Almost sealed it. I mean, we're talking a quarter of a, so we're talking one tick, so a quarter of a point, right? So for me, that's good, right? Now I got to go back to a 1 minute so you can see this. These motherfuckers, let me tell you, they never cease to amaze me. So right here, price shoots up, gets into this imbalance right here. It's above 50% now. Done. That's taken out. Gets hit here on the top right here, like literally pretty perfect to me. And then the candle closes. Okay, this next candle pops up right here, comes up, doesn't pass that, and I expect it to hold. All right. And also we've hit, I didn't draw that out, but I just know it, is this. I'll drag this out right there. See that? I'm going to make it fucking orange. Dark orange. So this is a form of resistance, and that is literally on the head. I mean, there's no mistake there. That low and that high, right? So resistance, I have all that going for myself. All right, and I realized that. I'm like, okay, cool. This is my next sell. What do I do in bearish days? I would like to look for 3 trades in general: the sell, buy, and sell. Sequence of 3 trades, right? Sell, buy, sell. We got that, but we got a little extra than we thought. So as it's a 1 minute, now the price, this next candle, which is the 953, shoots up, then comes down. As soon as it comes down, and because at the open it busts, this is an automatic. I'm pushing the button. I could have pushed it here, but I wanted to see if it, decided to push up a little higher. It didn't. I get this bearish candle forming, right? I'm automatically in, literally automatically in. Stop loss has got to be above half of the wick of that candle at minimum. Sometimes 3/4 or generally on top of the candle. Price comes down, comes back in. All right, comes back in. I'm not worried about it because I understand this scenario. I understand that we're looking to take out this low and possibly more. But at this point, anyways, I'm already in. Comes down, lower low, lower high, shoots down, takes out this low, and I'm done. Now I got to go, well, yeah, I got to keep it on this one time frame. So I was sub-second, I was sub-minute time frames, and I saw this. So let me just go to a 30-second real quick. And then this thing fucking jumped quick. So this 30-second candle came down, closed below it. I close, and then this next candle rips up. I'm like, holy shit. So, and I'm not, listen, here's the deal. I would love to hold and come down, but this is the reason why I don't. I take it to liquidity levels only. And someone will say, you know, even if I was to project a lower high to lower low to lower high, you would generally come to, you know, a 27 extension or a 61. I don't fucking do that. I take it right to the specific zero level, which would be here. If this is A to B or 100% to 0% and retraced back. Right now, this fib is sitting there at the 50. It's just a 50 fib. It's nothing great about it. But the point is that I understand that if it takes liquidity, it can rip back up. So sure enough, I'm done. Don't need any more. This right here was just epic for me. And you can see that low right there. Right there. See that low? That's already a given that I've already got highlighted there. Can't miss it. But here's the deal. This thing whips up quick. And I was like, damn. Price comes all the way back up and retraces. Look, where did it go? It went right to my entry. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, so watch it so it makes sense. And then what does it do? It comes back down and takes out that low. But shallow. Third drive. Now, guess what? No one is interested in buying here. They're all spooked, right, to buy this. But I understood. I mean, I'm not involved, so this is the reason why I'm not involved, because of this type of fuckery. Look what it ended up doing. Went all the way back up and wiped out the high of the day. Me, I was pretty confident that this would be the high of the day. But here is a perfect example of don't fuck around with the market. Don't overstay your welcome. These bitches will humble you. I don't give a fuck how confident you are in what you're doing. Dude, you don't need to be involved, and you don't need to let trades come back against you. Anyways, that being said, with this lower low and this lower high, and then this lower high, and then breaking this low, yo, I'm like, man, look at this shit. And on top of that, by the way, when I was taking out the profit here and selling, I was a little concerned that we would come and wipe this out, because this was a little too obvious and too easy to get in. And I left it alone. I'm like, nah, we're good. You're right. I got this resistance. I'm like, we're trying to come lower. It's about time. Let's go. But you make the right decisions and you take the profit. And guess what? So with this lower high, really too obvious, right? For me. And then when the price comes down, it doesn't really come down. Like you notice, every candle closure is not even below the lows. It's like, so, and this is a 30-second. Let me go back to a 1 minute. So you can look at the wick. No bodies there. Very suspect. Very, very, very suspect. This right here closes below, but like it's barely. I mean, we're talking, we need to see it really come down for us to be like, yeah, we're good. We're coming down here, right? So look what they did. They pushed up, came back into the candle, same equal level on this time frame, and then started to come up. Now I got this 1 minute inversion imbalance highlighted because I have a feeling that we're going to come and take them out, right? But again, I'm not involved. So, and I'm glad I'm not involved. Look at this fuckery. If I was to have not, let me tell you something. If I didn't take out this profit from here, and I was so gung-ho on holding it to come down, I would have been fucking pissed if this shit came up against me and I was holding it. Here is a perfect example of why you fuck what anybody thinks or what you think of yourself. Take that profit once you hit liquidity levels, period. Right? So look at this. In the general gist, you're looking to see what's going to happen. So this here's the deal. This was a low that lower high that we were looking to create, and then in the example that I gave here, this is that leg and leg, right? And then we want it to come down. Doesn't mean it's going to pan out, but here is what happened. Again, let me go back to this. So we made that high here, in there, in that wick. We do come down. So we got this much accomplished and that much accomplished of my example that I gave. But here's the thing. Do you get an extra high before it comes really down? So for example, was the framework, so in this example that I gave you, when I said it was going to come up like this and then like this, well, in this coming up leg, all right, so let me delete this. In this coming up leg, what is possibly, or not possible, it looks like it happened already, obviously. Right? So this leg up that I showed, do you get an extra higher high? Do you, in this leg, do you get a reach? So what we did is we got this retracement here. All right, and in this down candles, there is down candles in here that it's sitting in. I'm not going to go through all that. Well, 30-minute, you would probably be able to see it much easier. See that? So this down candle here on a 30-minute, for example, you see that we take out that low, but we're still inside this candle, and that candle is at 50% of it. When I saw this hit 50%, I was like, man, that's some fuckery right there. You don't want to see it stop right there, even though I'm already done. When it hit there, I'm like, yo, watch this thing reverse. And if you look at the 30-minute, look at the wicks coming down. Super, super manipulative, right? And then when this next candle opened, which is 11:30, they popped it up, right? So generally you would expect it to come down, but that's some suspect price action, and it's sitting at that 50 level of this candle, this 30-minute. I got all these time frames in different screens, so that's what helps my trading. It should help yours if you do that. But point is that we got another. This leg. Let me go back to a fucking 1 hour. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I just don't do a good job of explaining. I don't know. Is that why? This leg down and then this leg up. Well, this leg up consisted of another retrace. So this leg consisted of some higher highs and then a higher lows and then made another higher high. That's finale. So as you can see, and then look at, we're dropping. So now that we came to 50% of this up candle, plus this resistance block here, this is a better place for probably the price to stop and come down. So that's assuming that we do become bearish from here. So that's how it played out. And that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying, is that you don't know if you're going to get an extra leg up, right? You just don't know, right? You have the idea of what's happening. You just don't know. So that's why taking profit here, and the trade that I took here, I know it's coming down here. Like, I knew that much, right? We're going to wipe out pretty much, Asia London and yesterday's PM session lows or liquidity. All right. And then from there, we came up, we took out yesterday's high, right? We got up into, we're inside that wick and we took out that liquidity. Good. We're here. And then, I know this much, right? And then I also know once it took this liquidity, I know that this is a very possible buy to retrace back up to here. I know this much. I know that much. Like, I'm confident in that. And the trade here, selling from here, to come down to here. I know that much. Like I'm confident in that. But from here, I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't call it. I have no. I don't. It's anybody's fucking ball game that what can happen from here, right? So what did it do? Came up, bounced around, like even okay. Let's put it this way: this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right. So even this much I could have told you, right? Coming down here. Once it came down here, it bought back up to where? To make a new lower high, right? This is deep, but you could have took a trade here. I mean, this if you were watching live price, this happened really, really fast. So it was fucked up. But let's just say you were able to catch it, or you had a limited order, or whatever the case is. You can still catch up into that imbalance or up above that liquidity right there, right? So, but after this, I can't tell you what's gonna happen. That's all I got for you. Now, until you get some more data or whatever setup. If you want to talk about setups, this is a setup here to sell down. This is a setup here. Once taking that liquidity from here to here, that's a setup for me. From here, this resistance and this lower high, this is a setup for me to take out that low. But after that, that's it. That's all I got, right? So, anyways, that being the case, as the price comes back up, you see this 1 minute imbalance turn into an inversion. I want to see if it's going to come up. If you're still trading, you want to see if it's going to come up. Is it going to hold that support and keep going? Because now you got liquidity identified here, pretty obvious here, and with the ringer here. I mean, honestly. So that's what they did. The price came up. It's very suspect. It's too tight. It shouldn't still be here. We're looking for this to have already came down, then come up, and we're looking for that. You're not getting that. You're getting very, very shallow price action. And then I even mentioned what I said on the 30-minute, right? So price comes up and gets above this inversion imbalance, and it stays in there, doesn't break. And then you get a break above right here, retrace right back into it, 50%. Look at that. 50% of that. Boom. These are buys. I mean, this was a buy too, but I wouldn't have took it. But here is a buy right here. Break above this high and retrace into that inversion imbalance right there with identified liquidity here, and up here with also possibilities of this imbalance right here, right? And the high. But this imbalance literally specifically is this level. With the open, sure enough, we get right to it. We retrace back. Excuse me, I got a call. Shit, I gotta go pick up my dog. Is ready. He got his hair cut. All right, so I knew this would happen. So okay, buys, retraces back. You know what? I'm gonna just pause this and then come back. All right, I'm back. I'm not exactly sure what I said the last thing before I paused and had to go get my dog, but I really don't remember. But we came up here, got into that, like I said, we got into that supply, into that resistance block right there, and this supply block right there, middle, damn near 50% of it, right? And then over here on the time frame, you'll see that we came down and bounced around the open, playing around, big movement down here. Generally, probably rushing for this right here. As you can see, the market's the market's closed. Yeah. So as you see, they were probably going to gap down. But what was I saying? Sorry, I kind of lost myself. But here, as you see, this retracement, that leg, well, we had a higher high and a higher low and a higher high. So that forms a leg. I'm still probably bearish. At the same time, it is still bullish. Let's just make sure we're clear. It is still bullish, right? But with all this type of extremity of reaching certain levels here, we should get a healthy retracement, down to here at the least, somewhere into this, maybe like that candle right there of October 11th, Wednesday, the daily candle. Get into this down block right here, and so on. And that's pretty much the near future what I'm looking at. But yeah, you see this this inversion imbalance pretty much popped in right there, and higher high. Look how this high comes right here, avoids tapping the daily open of today and wipes that piece of liquidity out. Look at that. I mean, literally. And then drops, retraces back where? Into this last down candle, right? So higher low, higher high, higher low. You can see this leg very clear. Up here, right? 3 drives, right? Retraces back, what? Into this block right here, all right? Or these 2 down ones, whatever. And then pops up, finale, all bullish candles. You know, and looks like it wants to come down for these lows now. So I'm literally gonna move this liquidity to here and here, because that's prime suspect. I mean, we're trying to go for it, but you know, at the least this low right here. But is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, so that imbalance there, even if I drag that out, you can see that the price comes in and then it gets held as support as well, right? So we're using that as retail uses it, just constant random zones. They don't realize that they're highlighting certain things, but you know, they happen to just pan out. But let's see, was there anything else? That was pretty much it for Nas. And I thought there was something else I wanted to mention. I can't remember. But yeah, that's pretty good. Let's go to Dow real quick here. Oh, and then dollar, of course, dollar. So I was mentioning also that if dollar was going to break through or kind of come down, we were going to go up. So this was also part of the picture, because when we opened up here, we could have went up. If we went up, then we would have saw what we wanted to happen more. But as dollar is consistently sinking right now, as you can see, and they were playing around. You see how they got to these areas right here and they were just playing around? Well, they did that on purpose. So at the moment, let me go back to this. At the moment, we're technically still bullish. And I'm going to just say that still. We're still bullish, even though we understand it's an extremity and dollar will probably start retracing back to the upside. Right now, we're still bullish. But for me, I'm not relying on dollar either. So I do know that this is very suspect here, and we should still come down. But at the same time, you know, that's where we are. So dollar came down, right? So that kind of ruined our hopeful plans. But it doesn't ruin mine because of the fact that I'm nimble and I'm taking from liquidity to liquidity. You know, liquidity to liquidity. Right here. From liquidity to liquidity. From liquidity to liquidity. From liquidity to liquidity. From liquidity to liquidity. Get that? Right? And then this from here, from liquidity to liquidity. And this would generally be the next real target. So, yeah, back to Dow. Let's go to Dow real quick. Dow made a higher high, okay, which is fine. You know, they made a higher high. And we got into the open of this candle. I'm gonna try to this up candle. So on September 15th, Friday, this up candle right here. This was a 10 o'clock a.m. candle. We just tapped right into, by 8 points higher, inside that wick. So that's where we are. So we also have this imbalance sitting there. We don't know if it doesn't have to though. This is a balanced price range. So it does not have to come up here. And I got a question mark, but I don't know. But it does when this price came up and then came down and then retraced back up with that wick and then came down. Once it left it, that's a pretty much balanced price range. It doesn't need to come in here, but hitting that open or getting into the wick is reasonable in my book. But it just looks like it wants to fucking go down, right? But what I also wanted to say, let's go into a smaller time frame. And I'll be honest with you, look at this. This is very small movement. I'm very glad I transitioned from Dow when I did, because I'd be kind of having a rough time. And feel free to comment in the video if you want. And I know I've been predominantly teaching Dow, but you know, I've just had it with them. I've been trading it for so long, and it's not. I won't get into that, but let's just put it this way: Nas is the new Dow. I'm just gonna say it very simply, and I said this before, but now this is the new Dow, 100%. But I'll show you this. We'll go to 1 minute. Right here, principles still apply. We come up, we open up, we come above, we rush. I mean, Asia and London did a pretty good job already of movement, right? So when you're up here, all right, they tagged that level, which I just showed you, which was that wick, So you gotta understand all these different. You're like, well, which one is it, Roland? I got so many levels. There's so many levels. It's a part of the game. You're already inside this September 14th Thursday up candle, right? As a supply block right there, right? We tapped in. Oh, well, we already took that high out, but that's where we're sitting right there, right? So can it reverse from there? Sure it can. But that's a key level. All right, it's a key level. Remember that, key level. All right, this is now, what is it? 8:30. So 8:30, 8:32, and then this 8:36 candle pop up. You get this push down. All right, I would have probably liked to have pushed it here. But once I get this candle that comes below that up candle, that would have been a nice entry. And then how it pops right back up into the bottom of that, you can see that, right? So 1 minute. See how that little pattern pops up right into there? Perfect. Stop loss would have been here, right there, and then would have rushed for that liquidity, and probably the minimum. But if I held for here, I'd still be stuck, right? But that's why yesterday I was saying when we possibly had broke that structure, which was that higher low right there. Watch the video so it makes sense. Look, they still came up. That's just why. Number one, I don't fuck with Dow anymore. But number two, the market will humble you in the sense that you're not going to get what you want. And this is not based off of structure. You have to also understand that this algorithm is moving based off of price, of inefficiency, and liquidity. It's not based off of structure. Just because I see structure here, that's just to help you, and they do that just so you can see something, so you can be participating. But you got to also remember, it's not based off of structure. It really isn't. And I'm saying that loosely. I mean, obviously there is structure involved, but at the end of the day, I'm not looking for that. I'm not really looking for that. I'm looking more for who's going to get fucked next. Where is the money, right? Very simple. So in that case of the conversation, right here, you see the price coming down, pops down here. Once it pops down here at, this is now 9:29 candle. All right, we do take out that low, and then it retraces back up. It's a 1 minute candle. It's a 1 minute. Retraces back up all the way. Where does it go? Right above 50%. I got the high and that low. Retraces back up. What's above that 50%? And look. This is why I like Dow, because I mean, certain instances they're really good, and that imbalance right there. See that? You got to include that gap. So look at that right there. Your stop loss would have had to have been above here. All right. But look at that. Obviously, this is look how they shake it out. They shake out the market because we have momentum buyers and sellers that are just have, stop orders, and they're just pushing through. And I'm telling you right now, this is the hardest market I've ever seen. I'm going to be real with you. The hardest I've ever seen, well, besides all that previous price action from the beginning of the year. That kind of sucked. And throughout the first 6 months. But this is the hardest time I've ever seen the market, because I just believe that all these new algorithms and high efficiency computers and AIs and so many people involved, from a technological standpoint, is just kind of making the market tough. So in the sense of the reason why I take these trades that I take is because I fucking know they're greedy. Like we're greedy. Like us as traders, we are naturally greedy, right? And I take these, when they take liquidity and they rush a different direction, I'm confident in that because I know they're fucking greedy. They have to also watch their back in trading. Meaning when they put this lower high, they know that they got to come right quick and kind of wipe out people to not be involved in the trade because they are having the problem of having good traders and all these computers chasing price with them, and they're trying to shake that monkey off their back. And and I get it. I get it. They created the monster, and now they have that problem of people constantly profiting. But that's another conversation. But that's why you see them always returning to the different direction, and you're shaking out, and you're probably like, dude, every time I try to take a trade, it comes against me. Well, that's because they're greedy as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just flow with that, and that's how I got into this business. But anyways, sorry, I need to make this done. So long story short, that retraced. You got to be quick on that, and then ranged down 3 drives. So when you're down here, right? In my opinion, okay, it's sitting at a gap. Also, by the way, not a coincidence. You sealed all that imbalance of price right there, right? See that? Took out that liquidity, then you balanced the price, and you stopped at this down candle. So, and you're stuck in this support block, this candle right here, this 15-minute 12:30 p.m. candle from yesterday's candle, right? See that? If you drag that out, bounced. So that's a form of support. So if you're selling here, you can sell to liquidity, inefficiencies, or support, or further liquidity, but you pick your poison. I mean, and that's the logic of where I'm going. But even when the price is down here and the price picks up right here, and you see that clean imbalance with that down candle, look, it's the same level. That's what I liked about Dow. They were always really good at that. Look at that, same level, literally, right? But if you waited for a shift here even and it retraced back, the point of you buying here though would be to wipe out that liquidity there, right? And to possibly get into the open day, get into that up candle. See that up candle right there? See this up candle? This is the 930 candle exactly. To get up into tap into that. Look how we tap. So that 930 candle is literally sitting inside the open of today's day, and look how it pops right up. So that would be like the logic of me buying up here, for a lower high, for example, and then I would have liked price to come down, but man, price stayed in the same spot. You could have this retracement here, put it on a fib, looks like a 61. I'm not even gonna measure it. Let's measure it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was a 70. I think it's a 61. No, it's a 70. Shy of the 70, hit the 61, whatever. But that liquidity point and that down candle is a nice combination. But yeah, anyways, yeah, very, I think Dow is super ugly, man, lately. So, and the whole market really, but came down, retraced back to that opening gap. Look at that. Look at the levels that are getting hit. I mean, are they on your chart? That's the question here. So and then yeah, I don't think there's much else to explain here. But as you see, take a look at this. Just as a brief overview, take a look at this. Look at this flat price action. This is not common for Dow. Dow used to give me hundreds of points. When I mean hundreds, I mean like 2 to 400, 500 even. You're right here, you're struggling for 100. But not S&P basic, right? At least had a deeper retracement. That's cool. Look at Nas, and Nas is giving you the big moves, right? Look at this fucking move right here. So, lower highs here. Is this going to be the strength for S&P and Dow to push us more down because this is a crack? Who knows? We don't know. For now, I'm just going to put it from right here to here. Right? So does that crack right there push us down to then really come down here? We don't know. So All right. I hope this helps you guys. Take care and have a good weekend. God bless.